these carries here. Castle and Kled, if Sven can escape the initial burst of engage, he can orb walk his way out of these fights with the protection and single-handedly kite his way out towards victory. However, there is so much hard engage too. Kled going in from one side, Castle from the other side, maybe an Ash Arrow to slow or Flash Malzahar. If Sven dies, a lot of damage goes down with him.
Yeah, just a lot of potential here in WE. They are going to have to play, I think, a bit more aggressive in this situation. We talk about 20% of their games where Condi just goes off and the team can follow. They're going to need to dig back into that 20% if they're going to try and tech on what is a terrifying scaling comp.
Yeah, and I loved this draft phase because there was so much adaptation required, throwing out the support bands early. And I honestly feel like G2 got exactly what they wanted out of this. It feels like it because they still get the shielding support. Whether or not that was the plan beforehand, all the jungler bans fall through. They still get something that is additive towards their team composition if it is almost never played.
Yeah, as a total unbiased European, however, I'm a little scared for the combination of Nunu Shen in the past that has shown a lot of tankiness, but too little full pressure or damage, and the fact that LeBlanc can foul off a little bit. It's like an Orianna that scales a little bit better as a double damage threat, or even a Syndra that has just more innate blow-up potential. LeBlanc is tricky to play in these kind of hyper carry comps.
Yeah, and I like this because we have such a difference between team compositions, because WE's comp is actually not without scaling. Kassadin and Kled can scale pretty well, and the flank threat of those two is massive. So both teams have very clear strategies, double TP on both sides to try and match the split pushing in this game.
Well, everyone's out into the roof here for this game. Really interesting stuff to start it off already, and we're barely even into it. Sven and Minty don't have a dance in the bottom lane.
I actually hate that skin.
Yeah,
personally,
dislike
Sven has doing it to tilt the opponent, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely mental warfare with that super noise skin. We need to watch the bottom lane though, because this lane isn't as easy. Kog'Maw is very centered around the cadence of the W. If it's up, you win. If it's down, you get butchered. So you really need to step forward and backwards well in this laning phase. And Ashe can always poke you when you're on your way to trade as well.
Well, it looks like Trick. Very curious to see how Nunu's going to look at jungle route as well. Nice little ward from WE is actually going to see that buff. Condi and Ben also start. Yeah, Trick maybe predictably is on blue buff.
Yeah, one unfortunate thing about playing Nunu jungle is he doesn't start very well on the Raptors, where a lot of other moves can start. Brave does start well on the Raptors. When you have a Malzahar, you want to take advantage of the Voidling pull. Con Killer's that so fast, and since he did have the ward, he can actually do to Nunu what Nunu would like to do to opponents.
Remember, look at it. Both teams seem to be ready for the reaction.
Now the vertical jungle most likely.
Because the wards are placed already. I'm not sure if Trick actually saw that ward being placed, if he knew that his opponents have the knowledge of his starting station.
Damage already being down here. Level 1, and Mystic's below on health. Minty chugging potions for himself as well, but see if the aggression continues. Level 2 going to be on the way after these 3 melees there. But here's Condi actually on side.
He's coming in for a cheeky gank here. G2 bot lane trying to respect it.
Uh-oh, damage is getting pretty big here. Quick draw in. Sven instantly burns the heal out of respect.
Yeah, and this is actually not the best planning here, because G2, what they were doing is they were draining health early to be in the race for level 2. They were still able to get fast level 2. The problem is, as I pointed out, we have vertical jungling going on. You cannot race for level 2 in this scenario, because waves can always show up if they let you push.
Yeah, and the thing is now, with the Hawkshot flying up towards Trick, I don't think he has time to clear this red buff. You can see Condi skipping all the way towards him as they fight in the bot lane.
Mystic low as well, but they're going to turn it back in onto mid. Ban autoing out. And again, more potions being chugged.
So much easier to kill these Voiders right now, though. They're getting booted patch and patch and patch.
No, doesn't get it. Condi.
Oh, he smoked 2 health early right there. So close for Trick to get that steal. And now his jungling is for naught. That was so close by Condi.
Yeah, Nunu getting 3 buffed. That is not the early game result that you now. However, he can adapt by picking up mostly Scuttle Crabs really quick along the way. Just get a multitude of experience gold here, but definitely great start for Condi.
Well, Effect's getting pushed in the meantime here in top lane. Have to go on CS pretty comfortably, but what just again, it was 2 health, you said.
Yeah,
2 health was right.
Yeah, that's just extremely close right there.
Yeah, especially because Condi did have red buff, so it was ticking down, and you're trying to time your smite with the auto attack, because both junglers are going to be smiting on the same threshold right there, just insanely close.
And now pushing bottom side. Maybe that aggressive trading has cost G2's duo a little here. Actually 10-6 down as Sven's trying to catch up with this huge wave onto the turret, but just constant harass from the 2v2.
That's the start for the side lanes. Getting pushed in and trying to stay on even CS. Expect is doing it much better than the bottom. However, they had an early visit from many Gris, and that can really throw a spanner into works. Luckily, Cogmall does not need even CS, because on level 6, that initial trade, when you have picks on you, you get a couple W autos and an R off. That is poke to half HP on any champion.
So pushing into this mid lane now. So that's what he can get done here. Teleports were expended early, so they'll have some early laning items. And Trick's actually down the bottom side, but he can get spotted. Good ward.
No buffs on him. They're pushed in pretty hard. They also have heal on Sven, so they gotta back up.
Tony's got red here as well. In fact, he's also got flash. He just might take one down. First blood is on the horizon. Connie punches for it, and there it is.
And we were again at an international tournament where G2 have a plan, a late game idea of what they want to do, but things go horribly wrong in the early game, and they have shown in the past that they do not adapt well to losing these turns early game at international tournaments.
He's got Suns, isn't going to have to use, but takes a boatload of damage from 3 members of Waterloo, and that turret is low. That actually might. Where's the wave? It's not quite there in time.
Mid essentially just tanked 4 turret right there. He was trying to distract Team WE so his turret wouldn't fall. He does hold it for now, and that prevents the absolute disaster, but it's still quite bad for G2.
Again, like Trick knows enemy jungle is coming. They're trying to hide under the turret, but Sven is completely out of resources. He got punished too often. Had to use W on the creeps. Obviously, couldn't use it as a trading tool, and eventually it broke. And Trick, too late, escaping.
Yeah, would have needed to flash much earlier than that. That may have prevented Condi from going in for the flash if it wouldn't have secured the kill, but just doesn't quite gauge the Graves damage right.
The problem when your Nunu is under so much pressure is that he can't do any drive-bys in the mid lane. This matchup, the only matchup that is kind of seesawing in the other direction is Catman versus LeBlanc, but you need a jungle visit to tip it just a little bit too much, you know, so it falls over the edge, and Trick hasn't had the chance to visit mid at all.
Yeah, and so much of that goes down to the missed smite on red buff. If that hasn't happened, Trick has the red buff, probably level 4. Condi wouldn't. Trick can maybe smack him out of that brush, no problem, but it was those little things that do have snowball effects, and it's all about now how G2 can recover.
Well, certainly looked at Waterloo here and so they will have to play a little uncharacteristic of themselves and get that aggression going. Condi, as always, has been the flag bearer for that early pick here, but game certainly not out of reach. Almost 1,000 up for Waterloo, which is nice, but certainly not over.
And we're looking right now, they have to be careful of this 4-man roam bot from G2 Esports. Team WE, of course, no longer forsaken name, because they're looking to get back amongst the elite in the world.
Yes.
But they're not there quite yet, so we call it Team WE. But yes, they're looking to combat that play from G2, because G2, they want to make a 4-man bot with the Shen, the Noodle. LeBlanc uses the push, and it's honestly just 5-man party in the bottom.
Yeah, that is a hope, and that's also what can hopefully for them keep Team WE at bay. But this very much looks like the type of WE composition we saw in Game 1 versus Flash Wolves, not the more passive everyone range composition we got to see against TSM. So WE trying to play these multiple different styles, and Condi on the forefront right now, again invading Nudu, sees the control.
Gonna get caught maybe, but the bottom lane's still pushing so nicely that I don't know if Trick can do too much.
Yeah, the question is caught by what? Because they have pushed in that bottom lane, and he can just now contest this red buff with a lot of fearlessness. He has the support of his Malahar most likely.
Caston's going to get there quick now. This Sven is going to move himself out of the way. Turret goes down, and Mystic says, take it, and now Sven is exhausted. Maybe a little too much, but Sanjay out of Mystic cut into the enemy team. Condi not there in time. Sven gets the kill. The W not done yet. Here's 957, but Condi, or too low, goes down as well. Now 957's got a flash. Does get polymorphed over the wall, but now Perk's also looking to pick off. He's actually going to meet Cassidy, so he'll back away. G2, great collapse there.
And that fight was a mess overall because it is all about the red buff, but they end up getting kind of caught down bottom, and G2 was way quicker to the party.
And this is why, if you're playing Cog, put at least 1 point in E. So many Cogmon players try to min-max and avoid that ability at all costs, but it actually was the catalyst that snowballed G2 forward. When you want to play Cogmon lanes, you follow an E trade first. You see, you go on that E, the guy slows down, and then you go all in, and now you have the Shen ulti coming in. Trick was doing a great job. He even consumes for help on the top side of the play there. And then Shen, he doesn't panic flash. He flashes just as expected, lands, gets out, survives, but is continuously doing damage. Kobe was talking about yesterday, uptime in team fights, always contributing to damage in the fights.
Yeah, and the angles that W chose in that fight were very poor because they had stronger members, so they all focused and they would have been able to win, but they did not For them, though, they still have a tremendous amount of map pressure. Already taking the bot turret, they're so quick to move up top.
This is a really nice translation, actually, from Team WE. They will be able to get this after stacking up a very big wave. So gold in their pockets, despite losing the last team fight. G2 having to recover means WE now up 2 turrets and 2,000 gold.
And Sven's arc to becoming a superhero is being set. I mean, he's yet to die in this tournament. His damage print is insane, and if they win, the only route is through him right now, and he has to hold them from behind. So not the ideal way to play, but he has been performing. And if there is a guy that you want to be able to pull you back, it would be Sven on cover.
Yeah, he might just evolve to OG Deals.
That guy was pretty good.
Good flash from Perks. Misses the arrow there from Mystic. And a nice little angle. Doesn't quite clip effect either.
That's the only case where I can advocate flashing in the wall is okay. By first.
Jump on a rope, pulled spec back in, but Shen doesn't look particularly bothered by this. Team up for the Kled and Chain Vest Bomb Cinder, so almost with the Sunfire Cape. But FF7 not taking over the game just yet.
I'm quite perplexed here by the very early QSS by Perks in the Cassidy matchup. I feel like he's so scared of Blanc in fights. So he's basically from
Malzahar.
From Malzahar in fights because he's LeBlanc. Because I think he might just want to be like a nuisance, going in and out, but being scared of being silenced and then CC.
Yeah, his threat is non-existent with the QSS. I mean,
surprise!
People do like building QSS to avoid Malzahar, but I feel like Ben has bigger fish to fry against a team.
Bigger dogs.
Includes the Kangman.
Puppy here, little puppy Sven.
And interestingly, like, Mystic is up in top lane because trying to keep Sven away from farm, that will let this Ocean most likely go over.
Well, they'll take it and can get it. Looks like WWE not in the vicinity, so that will be over to Trick. That is one thing new in a while, don't forget. Pretty good taking down big monsters.
This is something WWE do a lot, though. Put their AD carry in a side lane, and then they lose the rest of the map. Teams need to capitalize on it and punish it very hard. Mystic is getting so much free farm, but free farming on a side lane that's AD carry, when you have Cassidy in mid, generally uses the entire bounce of the map.
Just doesn't want his farm and is a top performer for the team, so I can kind of see why. But adaptation's never really been WE's thing. They just kind of play their style and do play it well to their credit. Still up in goal, which is good, but no pressure really in that lane. Perks providing quite a lot of wave clear. First break went down, so there's nothing to do there for about 5 minutes or so. I mean, if G2 are looking for a lull in the game, it's actually a very good time for them to just farm up.
Yeah, exactly, because you look at ward control, and TWE actually doesn't have very strong ward control into the territory of G2, and that's kind of what they needed. TWE has taken down both side lane turrets. Perks is sitting in the mid lane, so there's very few places for the Kog'Maw to farm. A 74 CS Cog at 12 minutes, not exactly the rate at which you would like to farm for Sven, who's one of the highest CS per minute players in the world. So at this point, WE need to continue to pressure those side lanes, get the wards, and then ult in with Kled and Caston to keep Ben down.
It's actually coming down as well. This is a nice little setup actually for WE, but G2, we'll see if they play the requisite amount of safety. Looks like WE aren't going to overcommit for it. Mystic not going to stay in fog wall for a potential arrow, but at least they've moved AD carry towards this mid lane. G2 already knows they've moved him more there for the safe farm, and WE kind of doing the right thing on the map for him.
Yeah, but Sven will always have to yield the push because he can't move up the challenge that way, because if he does, he's very prone to Ashe arrows or Ashe Malzahar ultis. He's yet to finish the QSS of his own. He's definitely going to lose the mid lane priority, which means then WE can move in left or right, put deep vision to the silence, eventually roll it towards a tier 2 turret, or set up like a dive in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for WE to set up a dive, because that's like the natural thing. Looking at the damage threats on G2, they are mostly non-existent. You got a QSS LeBlanc and a Kog'Maw who's level 7 without a blade right now. So if W can get the pressure in side lanes, and then 5-man dives in the mid lane, that's how to break this game open.
Yeah, the alternative could be rotate for a side lane turret, but the comp is catered so well around diving, they may have to be careful for the Shen. So that is one thing we will have to be careful for.
Actually, side lane action they're going to go with here. Perks in trouble, 1v3. Does have his QSS, so if it saves him.
The QSS.
He's Trick and help him up. Silence is down to Internet in, and there's Trick, absolute zero. Just to zone him out of the way. Everyone protects him, and Perks is okay.
Yeah, but they lose top lane. So this is 1-3-1 being executed by WE here. So much pressure from 947. He's going to start chunking that turret.
Yeah, that's a lot of overall pressure loss, especially because Mystic is single-handed holding 2 people in that mid lane. So 957 able to get a lot of hits on him.
Yep, does back out though. Looks like maybe spotted Mithy moving through the jungle, or just has an awareness that they've backed up. They're probably up here about now. Kind of using some of that internal time. Oh, free CS for Sven.
Almost. Sweep it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in range. Mithy doesn't have one. It's a disaster. Shen have to continue playing back here for a little while longer. And Mystic does that completed play. The issue kind of has been that even if he has hold, he's not really got a chance to back.
Even in terms of pressure, it's actually quite good to just place a ward in somebody's vision sometimes. Mostly you want to hide wards, but when you're playing stuff like Ashe and Malzahar, you just want to remind them, hey, I see you at all times. You're gonna, even if you're peeking around the corner, basically means this Sven now has to hide under turret. Which means WE can always push those waves faster and deeper in, and they can rotate for longer amounts of time.
Yeah, and we keep talking about things WE can't do, but there's very little they are doing right now. It's 1.8 thousand gold after taking down both side lanes and having a double TP composition with Kled and Caston. Where's the charge from Kled? It's been 6 levels since he's had it, and they haven't pulled off any of these plays. WE can be known in the LPL as the team that turns on at 35 minutes and is the Elder Drake team. But if you do that with 2,000 gold lead against this G2 composition, you're going to lose. So Team W has to make something happen.
Seems they might be setting up for some side lane pressure, but again, despite all the good things they have in place, it's how they execute upon that we'll have to look for. 140 Infernal Drake will be spawning, so that might be another place where W can say, all right, let's just force a 5-5, because that is something they know as well. If this game is in this pattern, G2, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, subtlety here from Perkz here as the G bot lane is basing and basically leaving mid exposed. He moves to mid, clears wave out, goes back, and they're just stalling over.
She a little 11, pretty strong right now with the Rod of Ages ticking up, but Ben can have to go back. Probably an item to buy, plus some wards to refill. Mobility boots actually from the Malzahar, so maybe we'll get it a bit more active. And I feel like I haven't seen a single Malzahar all game, and when you've got a cog, really farming a lane, feels like WE have the tools, but aren't quite using them yet.
Yeah, and to be fair, even though G2 does have this protect the cog composition, the way they've done the rest of their draft is with 1-3-1 split pushers. So Shen, not easy for Kled to get the push on, and same with LeBlanc, especially when it has a QSS at this stage in the game. So that is one of their tools for trying to stall this out.
It's not as simple as just making one play. It's essentially picking a lock. They need to make the right moves 3 or 4 times in a row for that lock to open. It could be burning the teleports on the side lanes, burning the channel, and then returning for another dive right there. It's so meticulously slow, and G2, this is their style that they like. Open map, side lanes, not too much hard engage, and just manipulating minion waves. What they've been training for the majority of the season in Europe as well.
And I really like how they've moved Sven to the middle. It's the most secure spot on the map. They can shrink it as much as possible. And as long as expect keep this push on 957, the Kled ult isn't going to be coming into dive.
And it's also one of the reasons we were talking in champs, like, you know, we see LeBlanc here scary, no Syndra, no Ori, because you think, why don't Orianna shield protect the Kog'Maw? Well, Orianna doesn't play well in side lanes. LeBlanc does it much better, and that's actually helping right now.
Good arrow. Actually, Charlie's going to come in as well. And United is tricked. He's the first blood of the ult. The Atlas doing against Channel. Pretty big amount of damage coming. Not quite enough spent. Well, on the backline, Blast gets him out of the way, but she moving forward. The Ripple because Mithy is low. Expect actually traveling. No, it is Mithy. That Scalded Mount Condi takes a trick. Finally, as W get themselves a kill. And that's a play they're waiting for.
Yeah, and G2 actually broke from their pattern. I don't know why they walked towards the Rift Herald, but as soon as they left the safety of that mid lane oasis, they were completely collapsed on by WE.
Way too much Q. Has a new Herald on the patch. No, that's honestly the only public explanation you could muster, because they were just so fine scaling up. It's not even close to Baron spawn, so there's no reason to contest that vision 3 minutes ahead of time. I think they just felt too comfortable in this kind of status quo that we created, but major blunder here. Sven could have easily died in that fight. Xie could have leapt over and found him across the wall, but he went for the team fight.
Incredibly perplexing, and Sven now not in his turret, opening up towards the Kled side of the map. Instantly 957 comes in, the Kled ultimate, and Ben finds the person he wanted to with his ultimate, so it doesn't matter if Perkz has a QSS. He was off at the bottom, but teleports in really late, but everyone on G2 just tried to run as far as possible.
Right there, if Xie takes a left, he takes him down. So the 0 deaths still up for Sven. That'll be much harder in the future, because a bit more gold on the WWE and an Infernal.
Yep, Infernal's nice there, but we do pick it up during that replay. Blue buff now going to go over to Xie as well. I think just kind of still building up for G2. Perkz still needs that first major damage out of him. Blade not done just yet, that early QSS. Blade Ninja Turbine is done for Sven, so that's a look for him, but Perkz, little caught, does have his QSS, just stops back out of the way. Now looking for the turret here. Good 3-man by G2, trying to break up on the map a little more.
Yeah, they're losing the individual matchups, I think, right now, and that's why they're trying to just go for turret trades. Because if you put this Cassid in, look at the items. Necron Merkins Cassid to a long lane, he's gonna win that 1-1 super hard and eventually leave that lane and join the mid lane party. So G2 trying to change it up.
Oh, back to Armor looking good there.
Struggled.
Let's finally take it.
Here they come, teleport mid.
Aggressive TP, Condi actually on the turret, going to WE, sorry, just going to look to take it down. Arrow actually going in as well, charge. Up, not used Arrow, this is probably the reason why. There's a good collapse and they're still going.
Yeah, it's very difficult for G2 to stop them right now. They don't necessarily have the wave clear options.
Well, criminal damage done, but Skin Turret does hold for now. Rifkel says bye-bye. And W again, back to the sidelines.
Yeah, W finally exploiting the weaknesses of this very one-dimensional G2 composition. It's all catered around Sven, but if they attack him early, hit his economy, scale him up slower, then obviously they're in the control map.
And the big CS lead actually for the Sticklers opened up. It kind of started in the laning phase. Again, Sven being forced to play so safe and far back, even in the safe lane in mid. The Mystics actually up 40 CS here in the matchup. 2 items done. Yep, Sven still won on that second one, but the strength from W is just dropped a little bit faster.
He needs 2 items and then he's the QSS, and then he can really position more forward in fights. Mithy's also going for redemption, not Mikhail, because obviously you get the double value. Mikhail's could be against Ash Arrow, but if you already get the QSS for Mouse ulti, Mouse never going to use it anyway, so you can save it for the arrow that way.
Yeah, I mean, we know the eventuality of the items that G2 want to get. Mikhail's, Redemption, possibly Ardent Sensor, but that's a lot, and it's kind of all on Mithy. The Nunu build very much is the Frozen Heart because of the 3 physical damage auto attackers that WE has, so he's also going to go with that next. So a little bit later a turn on for the support items.
Yeah, maybe Frozen Heart into a negative cloak or a little bit of MR right there, and then you just pivot, and I think you go for Knight's Vow.
Yeah, I think Knight's Vow very early on trick or expect even. I mean, we saw yesterday they're very willing to go 2 Knight's Vows. That's a very strong item in the game right now.
Yeah. No 80 top laners, so no banner to kind of save your map that way. So obviously that is going to tear through that one. So it'll likely be Locket's Lord's game.
But look at the Team WE biding their time and pushing the tempo. They know that G2 still doesn't have a team fighting presence, so they're actually threatening Baron at 21 minutes of the game now, which I think is quite smart.
Well, that ward's annoying.
Gotta do it well.
Yep, double pink ward's required, right, Crapper?
If you only have 2 wards, they're definitely not in the right location right there.
Definitely not.
Never should do it in the... You can do it in the pit if you have wards to spare, but a single sweep in the pit usually means that you're fine, but they're still launching backstreet arrow.
Charge down as well. And there's the ulti off banging to get wild grip, but the damage is a little too much. 957 plus 4 for the kill. Tricks to go there for the second, and now Perk diving into the backline trying to get an assassination, but Xie gonna shut that all down. Perks will get away, but WE get 2 crucial kills.
And that's actually really impressive because very few teams pull the trigger from that distance. So Sven was waiting for somebody to get close and walk in front of him, but WE fire from so far away, and that is actually Kled coming through in that pattern.
Yeah, everyone gets the move speed. G2 thinking about harassing this Baron, but that would be a big mistake.
WE instead gonna get the Baron. Xie rip walks forward to try and get him. Scar gonna tank it.
That's not the right adaptation. I think a really good point on the move speed right there, because that it just means that people close that gap so much faster. You feel safe in that distance. Every gameplay versus Ash, follow me anytime. I'll be out before you hear. Then in 1 or 2 seconds, everybody's there.
Moving up to clear the ward, and Trick does take the charge from Kled, but it's not nearly enough. It's still rank 1 Wild Growth, a level 10 Kog'Maw. Heal expended, but not even close. Sven realizes he can't even be that close to this WE team.
One more physically much earlier as well. Just get the Kled off.
Oh, get denied.
Works. Buy time. Just buying time.
Yep. Chilling out. Just having some fun. Just toss back in, and I think Xie is going to maybe chase him down. Good silence. Ben flashes over. Thunderlord's procs. He wanted to kill.
Ben don't mess around. He ain't got time for that. He has the Baron buff. He wants to push. Stop these shenanigans. I want to macro.
Yeah, Perks is doing his best to try and keep the minion wave out. Actually, when the Baron went down, Perks used to teleport to get to that bot lane. Definitely, probably shouldn't have died right there. Clear the minions out of there and try and defend his 5, because that's exactly all G2 has left. WE extended this. He picked up an early 20-minute Baron, really trying to punish now.
To be able to do a lot of damage here. No Lushbane early for Xie went Bissell second instead, but Kled with teammate plus the Black Cleaver will be on the sideline target. Of course, Baron makes this almost trivial.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw can't actually kill these minions very quickly. Even with his W1, have so much resistance to magic damage there that wave clear is really difficult for G2.
I mean, doesn't even have a Runins yet, so it's extra hard right now. Is she going to take down that tier 2 turret, make it 5 for WE. FF7 working on the last one there in top lane. They have such a massive lead right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big mental blow for the G2 Sports lineup. They felt so good after yesterday, progressing throughout the day, you know, great long game versus SKG. They felt good about the win, but we're seeing kind of the same thing we saw yesterday. Early game deficits that shouldn't really happen. Composition being punished, very much so. If WE can actually push Dagger through right now, they can easily take this game.
Exactly, and how deep does Dagger have to go before G2 falls over? Because 8,000 gold, some pretty deep cut right now for G2. Sven does have his Hurricane, but it might not even be about that at this point, because the amount of damage they can push through, and Mystic even being a full threat. She's a full Phantom Dancer ahead of Kog'Maw, so yeah, you throw the Lulu and the Blood Boil onto Sven, and that makes him as strong as Mystic. Then you got everyone else to worry about.
Everybody else is problem, because in terms of shot calling and target selection, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who you got hit on G2 Esports lineup. Because Perks, he's a novelty. With this QSS Gunblade LeBlanc, he's not doing much, jumping and doing some damage. G2 will need to be very precise in their engage. They don't have much time.
If you want a value on it, Mystic is about 2,500 gold ahead right now. So the completed item has been seen. The inventory looks like a catch on the GA. Maybe catching really hard to pin down, but if talk from Expect couldn't happen. Riphook again after Zuri going to get cancelled as Sven. He's going to move away, and GA still got ships. Getting himself out, almost gets over a flush snowball from Trick as the base is just getting destroyed. Why are you pressing a Cassidy? GA finally going to get taken down, but the spell trip's going to keep alive even longer. Turret out in top lane, it's just the base getting pushed, and now GA just wants to cancel back. Top in hit goes down. G2. Oh, so desperate, and there's the Jin Sven again gets taken. There's the Mother ulti. He's absolutely dead to Condi. So much physical damage in the top half of the map, and it's just falling to pieces for G2.
You got to be able to avoid that Ash Arrow even in that situation. They're chasing the Caston because they figured they'd lose the inhibitor anyway and are trying to get a kill. So W would make the most of it right there. Shay lasts all the entire game pretty much, and then Sven doesn't end up falling anyway.
Yeah, but even though it makes sense, it just goes down in such a comedic way.
Oh my goodness.
That is just
Who
the
do we
problem.
chase? The guy with the 2-second cooldown dash.
Yeah, Rift walks Allure, and then they got him. I wonder if this is gonna play far.
9/7.
Yeah, in the way you lose this though, in the way that play goes down, I wonder if like kind of the backlash and the memes that are gonna come down from this are actually gonna hurt G2 Esports.
Yeah, Sven flashing backwards from an Ash Arrow in a straight line. That's not the Sven you saw yesterday. Yes, team is falling apart around him, but you have to be able to flash away from that Ash Arrow and not get hit.
Now going to take, actually has a bolt strike the Raptors, and he'll start that camp as well. That's some power coming out of the Ash. He was still about 40 CS ahead. Now the Hexstreaker, just to make sure that Gunblade voids off QSS LeBlanc can't do anything else.
Yeah, makes total sense here. WE playing it right, you have the right item build. Condi and FF7 are mutually helping each other with these Black Cleavers. Xie survived matchup, invested early in MR. Then in Run of Ages, he went equal to Perks, was happy when he saw Perks pick up the QSS. And then the side lane impression that these matchups provided is snowball WE forward.
Again, a massive Baron power play there, 6,700 gold.
Mystic and Perks to battle. Mystic in a loop with the shield. There's a lockdown. QSS not going to save in the foiling. Arrow hits on Trick as well. That's going to get another pin down there at Waterleaf. Going to take down Trick through the wild growth, and now Shen. Rip walks in, just zoning the rest of G2 out. There's the charge in, almost kills him in an instant, and then straight onto Sven. Pulled back by 957. Exhausted, down, damage is there. Sven fight up, but there's the
Condi wants it.
Condi. It's Expecto, who's the tankiest middle left. Waterley gonna walk the game in behalf that you can see lining up for the fountain.
They're gonna potentially kill the Nexus turret first, but they have 20 more seconds to secure that penta.
What matters more to WE? The Nexus or the penta? Nexus open Condi, hoping he moves his way forward, but they'll take the game instead. WE take down G2.